Hi, wife.
Hey baby,
How are you?
I'm good.
How is it? How has it been this past 1 year
Hey
being married to me?
guy, nimepack bags mara mbili.
Oh my goodness. No, it's 3 times actually. And the number of threats you've given me that you're leaving.
Ay babe, but you're lying.
But yeah, this is what is meant to happen in marriage.
Yeah.
Most of you will face this. But yeah, so let's get started on this video.
Uh-huh.
My name is Jason,
And my name is Jackie
and you're back
with
again.
another video.
And we've been saying this for quite some time. We're back, we're back, we're back. But again, so many things happen along the way. We find ourselves
Yeah.
getting so busy with other things, finding that
Say you
it's
yourself getting busy.
okay, myself, and we don't have time to actually film for this channel. But the good thing is we decided, because this channel is not going to be so much active, Jackie can also open her new or her own channel.
Yeah.
So she opened her channel, and maybe most of you,
Actually August last year, 2023.
yeah, I think most of you have already, if not all of you, have already seen the channel. If you've not,
Please go and check out Jackie Nganga K on YouTube. Right now we are at 430 subscribers and on the road to 500 subscribers. So if you are an OG of this channel, please go and support me and subscribe.
and what type of content are you doing there?
So I do lifestyle, beauty, and inspiration, mostly cooking, my life at home, my life as a wife. I love beauty also, and also I love inspiring people. So yeah.
You'll also find me in some of the videos on that channel.
Yeah.
But now about this channel, we are planning to at least go back to posting.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be as often as we used to do it before, where we will post at least
one video a month.
One video a month. So right now we'll try, anytime we can find some time, we'll try and do a video.
Yeah.
And for today, we had something prepared for you. It's actually a week before our
before our 1 year anniversary, and we thought tumelegea sana kwa Jackie and Jason, and we would want, and the last time actually we asked, I remember we put up a poll tukauliza watu which content you will enjoy from us most, and most people voted about marriage and relationships, and so we decided let's just post what have we learned after 1 year of marriage, and what do we want to change, like what have we learned, because acha nikwambie kitu, one thing I've come to realize, the time that you were dating, or I was dating him, I thought I knew him because we've dated for 6 years, but oh my goodness, siko namjua. So
the same so thing for her. I also thought I knew her, but again, when you start living with someone, that's when you realize there's a lot that you don't know about this other person or your partner. True. And most of the things most of the time, what you do is you start living with what you have. Like you have to, bear with each other, understand each other, and just continue living because you've already chosen each other for the future. Yeah. So there's some things, or there's some points that we've written down and thought of sharing. And so if you want to get married, these points are for you so that you can know what you're actually getting yourself into. Yeah. And we are still learning. I know that 1 year of marriage is nothing. People say that this is the honeymoon phase. For us, you've been tested a lot. Mi feel kama na feel kama honeymoon yetu ilishaisha. Tangu sana. I think it ended in the fourth month. We're not sure. Anyway, may it not end. If this is how honeymoon phase iko, acha basi isiishe, ibaki tu hivyo. Anyway, so I'll start with the first point. Yeah. Point number one, we all communicate differently. Yeah. This is one thing I came to, or we both came to learn. Sometimes you find the way I used to communicate, or the way I'm used to communicating, is different from the way she's normally used to communicating. Or even reciprocating, like the way he communicates, sometimes I might not understand. Yes, exactly. So, like, for example, maybe tumekosana, or maybe he has a lot of work to do. For me, I'm the type of person who I prefer we talk about it, and maybe for him, he prefers to have his own space so that he can be able to deal with some issues. For me, I don't know how to give someone space. It's either we go and face it like that. And for him, you see, now he's not like that. Yeah. So communication, hey, hapo tumelearn vitu mingi sana in terms of communication. We're still learning because there are still some things that tunapata we talk about, and then maybe tunakosania because I did not communicate wisely and he didn't do the same. Yeah. So so that's the first point. The second point is, in marriage, there's one thing that is really important. I think this should have been point number one. This should have been point number one, yeah. Yeah, but one thing we've learned is, in
always need to trust in God, no matter what situation you're in. Always keep your trust in God. And also make Him to be the center of your marriage. Because one of the things I've come to realize also is that if the two of you don't have God in your marriage or don't put Him into your marriage, the marriage is going to fail. There's no, by the most of the marriages that I've watched, even online and all that, most marriages that God is not at the center of their marriage, most of them they fail. They fail and they break. And for us, because we want our marriage to last, we got to know the secret, that the secret is God. Like God has to be at the center of your marriage in everything that you do. And something else to add on this is, if you put God at the center of your marriage, most of the time you realize that anytime you face a challenge, and sometimes some issues that you face as a couple are sometimes beyond the both of you. Yeah, maybe it could be financial, maybe it could be anything. But sometimes you find if you put God at the center of all this, you find God always coming through in a way that is always, I would say, supernatural. Like it's out of this world. Like you might be struggling financially, and then both of you maybe don't have enough, or maybe they've not bought something for the house, maybe food, and sometimes you just let it and give it all to God and say, God, we don't have this, and in one way or another, you find that you never sleep hungry. Yeah, we never sleep hungry, we never lack rent. Like even that time that you feel like by the umefika mwisho. Yeah, God always it's comes like through. God anatakanga ufike mwisho ndio yakuonyeshe this beginning. Yeah. So that's one thing we've really learned, that even if we have situations where we can't really solve them ourselves, we know that God is there to be able to, I would say, solve them for us. Yeah. So point number 3, agree on finances and budget monthly. So guys, I know the second point yenye tumeona kuhusu trusting God even in finances. One of the big issues that we have even in our marriage is finances. And I used to hear that before, that finances are one of the reasons zenye watu hukosana, that finances are one of the reasons that people are not on the same page. And we came to realize that you need to agree and be on the same page and be honest. You need to be honest with each other. Like for me, I need to be honest with him and him with me. Because you find now when you have secrets about money, now that's where now mimi naweza anza kumshuku ama yeye aanze kumshuku. And also being accountable to everything that you're going to do. You can't just go and let's say you have some money and you just go and buy. Is it called impulse buying? Yeah, without thinking about what now, what next after. So it's really important to be able to agree on finances and be able to be on the same page when it comes to this. Even me as a wife, by the way, I've learned to budget. Like najuanga, okay, hii pesa nitanitosha the whole month, and I have to work through that money. Like I can't just go and start buying for myself things and I've not checked, like I've not fed my family. That's what I say. So yeah, I've become so responsible with money more than I was before. Yeah. That's something you learn on the job. That's true, by the way. You learn through the job. Number 4, you should seek help and guidance when you need it. This is also something that we've also come to learn. Like in terms of even finances and even our own issues as a couple, you might find that sometimes the issues that you have, you cannot be able to solve them together. Yeah. So you need to get people who you can be able to trust, people close to you who you know they're not going to go and start telling other people your issues. And also even financially, be open. Like if umefika mwisho and you have nowhere else to go, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. It doesn't show that sasa umeteseka sana, sasa as in you're not supposed to share. Sharing is good because at least people know where you've come from, and you just go and also ask for help from people who you know will understand and who are still in this, have gone through such a situation and will be able to help you, not just the one. Yeah. On to point number 5, be patient and calm. You'll have disagreements. Disagreements in marriage, I'll say most marriages have disagreements. Yeah. And it's before you're entering in marriage, what you need to understand is disagreements will always be there. What she feels, and like we'll always have that back and forth between me and my partner. Yeah. Like she might have her way of doing things, and I might have my way of doing things. And that usually comes from upbringing. Exactly. Yeah. The way he's been raised is different from me. So you might find even the things that you do in the house, because you've come together from 2 different backgrounds, the way you do things, you might find this other person doesn't like it, or this, or now it's and then so you disagree. You start disagreeing, but it's not your fault that you disagree. It's just that you've come from 2 different. You have 2 different ways of reasoning and 2 different ways of doing things, And if you don't compromise with each other, you find that you come to disagreeing. Yeah. So sorry. What has worked for us on that point is coming up with a culture that we both can agree on. Yeah. Like we might decide, okay, this is what you used to do at your home. Okay, this is what you used to do. Okay, we're not, because we're not agreeing, let's just come up with something else that the both of us can start. That is not based on anywhere we were raised in. Yeah. What did you want to say? Actually, that's exactly what I wanted to say. But that's something we've also put into this family, that we're now coming up with our own ways of doing things rather than having two different ways, that because we've come from different backgrounds. Yeah. So we decided to come up with our own ways and for our family to actually do them. Point number 6 is communicate and discuss everything. Don't just assume. It's always important to ask your partner, because assumption is number one. Number one, it leads to disagreements. Disappointment also, because you might find, maybe for example, I have uncommunicated expectations. So for me, because I haven't told him what I expect of him, I get angry because I'm like, okay, for example, I can give an example of maybe when he comes home from work and maybe I'm overwhelmed with the work. I decided to do my laundry in the evening, and I'm doing now laundry, washing dishes, cooking, washing the baby and everything, and I need help. Obviously I'll expect for him to come aone by the kuna vyombo pale I decide kuosha, but if atakuja afikirie she has everything under control and I don't tell him, babe, I want you to help me out, I'll find myself getting frustrated because I'll feel like he doesn't want to help me. And if I don't tell him, then I won't know. He won't know. Yeah. So really communication is the biggest thing that you need to work on. Yeah. Number 7. So be yourself. Otherwise, it's just an act. Our first year, not our first year, this is our first year. Yeah. You know, I don't know if I should say this. Say what? Fart in front of your partner. Do anything. Like, you know, if you're used to farting, between us, let me just be honest. Between us, I feel like I'm the one who was able to get used to this marriage more than him. For him, it has taken him months for him to fart in front of me. For me, me even sneezing, I do it, and then even my daughter, oh my goodness. But at first, it used to be quite confusing and challenging, because I'm like, why are you doing this in front of, like, for her, she opened up at first, but for me, it took me time to actually be myself. Yeah. But one thing we've learned is be yourself, because if you're not yourself, then you're just acting as someone you're not. And I'll find out the person he is later eventually. On, exactly, and it's gonna be too late maybe, because now your partner will be asking you, why have you been hiding this all this time, and now is when you. So it's important that always be yourself. Don't pretend about anything. And that also applies in dating life, by the way. Be yourself even when you're dating, so that even when you get married, you're not going to switch up on your partner and then they're like, oh my goodness, this is not the person I actually chose. Are you really the same person? Because only the people who change, like, you can pretend you're so different, then when you get married, I'm like, who is someone this else? Yeah. So always be yourself. Yeah. Number 8, all your vows will be tested. Hey, this one. So all those vows that you say to each other, in goodness, in good and in bad, in good health and in sickness and in health. In what? In Nahwanga? Just know all your vows will be tested. All of them. How we need to revise. In good times and in bad, in sickness and in health. So sometimes you might get into marriage thinking, my life is going to be perfect. Tutakuwa two roses, a bed of roses. It will just be what? Kwa sababu kuna wamesema happily ever after. Sometimes it's not happily ever after. Sometimes it's happy and sad ever after. Yeah. So you need to know your partner when you need to be there for your partner when things are going well and when things are going bad. Not just when things are going well, that's when you want to be with your partner, and when they're going bad, now you want to leave them. It doesn't work like that. And so surprisingly nowadays, people have become so much of the lovers of themselves that they can't be able to compromise or love that person when they're in problems. Like, for example, if my husband loses his job today, there's a woman who decide to leave him, and there's a woman who decide to stay. But that's because when you decided to choose this person to spend the rest of your life with, you chose to be with them in those good times and in those bad times. So even when he's broke, you stay. Each other. Even the roles sometimes can be interchanged. For example, I'm the one who cooks more
at home. If I get sick right now, it's his responsibility as my husband to actually come and cook, make sure that the family is fed. That doesn't mean that now that you're married, that now because I'm sick, I'm supposed to look for a way to make sure food is served and he's there. I feel like marriage is a partnership where you're supposed to help each other. It is not like where you get into where now he's the one in charge and so I'm the what? It's like I'm your servant.
Yeah, I can do anything that she does, and the same thing.
Yeah. So far that has worked for us. I feel like we are able to help each other when we are at our lowest. He's able to help me out, and also the vice versa. Like we have each other's back. Yeah. Point number 9: you should work as a team and for each other and work with each other.
That's what you just explained now.
Being a team is the best because even when you face challenges, you're going to be able to face them together. There's something I read, by the way. Even there's a verse that says in the Bible that two are better than one. Meaning, because when you're two of you, you can be able to fight bigger things that come your way compared to when you're dealing with your own stuff and I'm dealing with mine. We cannot be able to come together. Yeah. So the last point is going to read.
So listen, pay attention, and not just hear. And this is one thing that personally I think I have really learned this 1 year. And it's happened a couple of times where, for example, sometimes you might find yourself super busy. For example, I'm on my laptop doing my own things.
And I love talking.
So she's just talking to me and I'm like, yes. And maybe she mentioned something really important. But for me, I was just passively listening, not really
actively listening.
Yes. So now maybe later on I'm maybe doing something and then she mentioned something that she had discussed before and I'm like, I have no idea, I have no clue.
He doesn't even remember what I talked about.
So at that time I'm like, I was listening, but I was not really actively listening. I was just responding, but my mind was not there. So I learned something. We've learned is it's important to actually listen, like
and
pay attention and listen, and make sure that everything that is being communicated is being communicated in the right way.
Because sometimes even for me, I might get a little bit angry when, for example, he comes home from work. We haven't talked the whole day, and when he comes, maybe I want to tell him how my day was. Sometimes I usually tell him, okay, babe, who do you want me to start calling and tell if it's not you? Because there's some things you're not going to call your mom and start telling her everything. There's some things that you can share with your partner which you feel because you are open to each other, you can be able to share with them. So if you find that I share things with him and he's not listening, or saa zingine hata anasinzia, I get so mad. But I've gotten used to it. That's another thing, but a bonus point. You need to get used to your partner's habits. So he used to really sleep a lot when I used to text him. Like unapata nimemtext, kumbe alishasinzia kitambo. So hiyo habit alikuja kaileta kwa mali. So he comes home, he's tired, anaanza kuwatch movie, analala. It's something I've been able to move past. Like nowadays it doesn't make me as angry as it used to be. Kitambo nilikuwa nakasirika na mwacha hapo naenda kulala.
But mimi nimeimprove.
Nimeimprove.
I don't sleep.
Not but bado unasinzia.
Kidogo tu. Yeah, but that's I think that's the last point that we had.
We hope that you've learned something. If you're aspiring to get married, I pray that everything goes well for you and that you're going to enjoy your marriage, because marriage is beautiful. Like for us, there are times when I'm just maybe with him at home and I just enjoy his presence. I enjoy having a home with him because that's something that I wanted before. Even though we go through disagreements and we go through arguments and all those things, when you come together and actually solve those issues and you are okay, that's the best thing you can ever. Like you wouldn't want to choose anyone else.
So hoping you guys have enjoyed this video.
Yes.
As we mentioned before, we'll try as much as possible to actually post. We'll look for certain ideas. If you're enjoying this type of content, actually just feel free to comment. Go on the comment section. Maybe tell us if you're enjoying this type of content.
And also, if you're married, please comment down below and tell me what have you learned in your years of marriage that we should be able to, that you can be able to share with other people. And
once you're done with this video, as we mentioned, she has a channel. Just go and check it out. Go check her channel and watch the videos, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy her videos. So until the next video,
bye guys.
Bye.